Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, the Song of the Bee, verse number 64. Sri Shuka Uvacha Atha Gopir Anudnyapya Yashodam Nandamevacha Gopana Mantradasharho Yasyan Naruruhe Ratham. Sri Shuka Uvacha Athak Gopir Anudnyapya Yashodaham Nandamevacha Gopanam Mantrabdasharyo Yasyanna Ruruhe Ratham. Sri Shuka Uvacha Athak Gopir Anudnyapya Yashodam Nandamevacha Gopanam Mantradasharho Yasyan Naruruhe Ratham. Sanya Arurahe Ratham. Sri Shuka Uvacha Athak Gopir Anudnyapya Shodam Nandamevacha Gopana Mantra Rucharyo Yasyannaruruhe. Matajis, Hare Krishna. Sri Shuka Uvacha. Shukadev Goswami said, Atha, then, Gopihi, of the gopis, Anudnyapya, taking permission, Yashodam, of Mother Yashoda, Nandam, King Nanda, Evacha, also, Gopan, of the cowherds, Amantriya, taking leave, Dasharha, Uddhava, descendant of Dasharha, Yasyan, being about to leave, Aruruhe, mounted, Ratham, the chariot. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, Uddhava, the descendant of Dasharha, then took permission to leave from the gopis and from Mother Yashoda and from Nanda Maharaj. He bade farewell to all the cowherd men and about to depart mounted his chariot. Text 65. Tam nirgatam samasadya nanopayana panayaha. Tam nirgatam samasadya nanopayana panayaha nanda dayo nuragena pravochanna shulochanaha. As Uddhav was about to leave, Nanda and the others approached him bearing various items of worship. With tears in their eyes, they addressed him as follows. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami points out that Nanda and the cowherd men did not approach Uddhav as a formality, but rather out of spontaneous affection for a dear friend of Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for allowing me to sit here and speak to you. I beg for your blessings. In the Song of the Bee, by the mercy of Sri Uddhavji, the best of emotions, the best of spiritual ecstasies of separation from Krishna are expressed. And I was just thinking that what is recorded is the discussion and experiences with the gopis with Uddhava. But this kind of expressions were always there, expressed amongst the gopis all the while since Krishna left. And it is not possible to record everything what they expressed. But by the mercy of Uddhav, by the reason of Uddhav, such wonderful expressions were exhibited. And as long as they were among themselves, they could be of one level. When then somebody outsider came with some message from Krishna, apparently, the expression was very intense. When you miss your beloved, you have one feeling. When someone comes from the Pradesh of the beloved, there is another feeling of separation. When somebody comes from the place where the beloved belongs, your expressions become more intense. So when Uddhava came from Krishna's side, wherever Krishna was, Mathura, all the emotions, they reached their peak. So still, although such kind of emotions were expressed regularly by the gopis, they were performing dramas of Krishna's pastimes, they were remembering him, they were making garlands for him, they were talking about him, they were reminding each other of Krishna's wonderful memories. Still they attained their peak of expression when Uddhav came. So Uddhav was the cause of the precipitation of such kind of beautiful expressions, which is the highest expression of Vipralamba Bhav expressed in Bhagavatam. And you can see the expertise of Shukadev Maharaj, Goswamiji, that even though such short time, he could really pick up the best of all best in short time to give to give Parikshit Maharaj. So Uddhava was a son of Devabhag Maharaj, who was brother of Vasudev. He was born and raised in Mathura as a Kshatriya and as a city boy. And he was a very learned scholar, a very serious scholar of Shastras. He was the first Yadava who befriended Krishna and attracted Krishna, and he also looked like Krishna, wore like Krishna clothes. He silently suffered the atrocities of Kamsa in Mathura while he was there. And Krishna apparently was raised as a village boy, as a Vaishya, apparently uneducated. He didn't go to school in Nandagaon. But he came, rebelled against Krishna, killed Krishna, threw him out, threw him away, and became a hero. There are two touching events in the whole life of Uddhava. One of them is he is going to Vrindavan with the loving message of Krishna for gopis and parents. And another is he went to Dwarka on Krishna's instruction after Krishna departed to inform Krishna's departure and the destruction of Yadav Vamsha into the remaining relatives of Dwarka. So it was like very intense, painful experience for him. So in this story, After killing Kamsa, Uddhav approached Krishna, and Krishna gave him a message, loving message, and sent him to Vrindavan to pacify the Brajbasis and his parents. Uddhav has actually had perfected his life by the time he was closest to Krishna by physical association. He was so close, friend of Krishna, he could joke with him, he could talk to him anytime, he would eat with him, dine with him, go for hunting, sleep, enjoy company anywhere in the bedstead, and anywhere, wherever. He was so close to Krishna. Plus he was also counselor of Krishna officially. He had roop like Krishna form. And Krishna had personally taught him yoga and science of devotion. So from all sides, Uddhav was a very great personality. Any devotee can imagine the closest position to Krishna he had already attained. Of course by physical sense and by devotion also. He was a great devotee of Krishna as well. So when he came to Nandagaon first, he saw rivers of tears. He followed them, and then he realized that these rivers are the tears of Nanda and Yashoda. That's how actually he found out the house of Nanda Maharaj. Somebody told him to follow the two rivers. So he was amazed because they didn't stop crying since Krishna left. Then he saw gopis performing a very unusual yoga. All the yogis, they do yoga so that they can capture Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and establish Him in their heart. And mind is very flickering, so the capturing is not permanent and constant and consistent. So they are struggling to keep Him in the heart and try to keep everything away by force and austerity and keep Him in the heart with effort. There is, I was thinking that in Sangeet there is Aroha and Avroha. Aroha is from going down to up, and Avroha is from coming up to low. So generally we do process, Krishna is outside and we want to bring Him inside the heart and realize Him. But he found gopis doing yoga very intently and effortfully. So he said, he was thinking I came to teach them yoga actually. Because they are suffering. So, suffering means emotions. Emotions means yoga is important. Knowledge and yoga. I will teach them, give them knowledge. And by knowledge, the obvious result is virakti, renunciation. And plus with the help of yoga, we will help them to control their emotions and then pacify them. But he saw them, they are already doing yoga. So he asked them, what is this? He's saying, we are trying to take Krishna out of our heart and forget Him. That is why we are doing yoga. So I was quite surprised because he didn't learn this kind of yoga. A different kind of yoga he learned. So that is where only he first got bewildered. How can I teach anything to these ladies who already have Krishna fixed in the heart? What they told him was very significant. They told him that we are village girls, our heart is very simple, and in that heart we accepted Krishna. But then Krishna is Tribhanga, crooked at three places. So we adjusted our heart as per the crooked position of physical position of Krishna. And now he left us and his going away is so painful. So we want to remove him from our heart. But because the heart has now become crooked and adjusted crooked Krishna in that, it's very difficult to remove him. And we are struggling to remove him. This talk, Uddhav didn't understand. What is the meaning of this talk? So there only he understood that something I am dealing with which is very exalted. Then first gopis mistook him as Krishna because he looked same, he wore the same clothes. Also he came on the same chariot in which Akrura had taken Krishna and Balram. So they came running with great anticipation that we are meeting our beloved, and soon they realized he is not Krishna, he is somebody else. So they felt embarrassed and they just stepped back. Then after he interacted with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda and got some glimpse of their love for Krishna and Balram, he met gopis and they couldn't express their heart to him in public. So they took him all the way inside the deepest of forest near Nandagaon and made him sit on an asan, beautiful asan, befitting his position as coming from city, a big officer and a big personality from Mathura, from Krishna's side. and they revealed their hearts. Scriptures explain that the best of the best possible emotions were expressed in that place. And therefore we should be very grateful to Uddhava because he is cause of that expression. Whatever transpired between gopis and Uddhava, all of you have read in details. We may not have to repeat that. But suffice to say, something most extraordinary was expressed, and because of that, Uddhava became very overwhelmed. He had certain plans how we would handle. Whenever we get a case for counseling, we make a plan as per the history. This is how I will handle, and this is how I will ask questions and direct him or her in this kind of thought processes, and then pacify, and that's how give some homework and all. He had some plan, but when he was listening, first he gave the message, and when he was listening to their heart, he was completely bewildered. He was totally overwhelmed. And the first thing happened that Uddhav carried was that he lost his pride. Whatever little pride he had about his vast amount of knowledge and closeness to Krishna and so many positions he had. But with all that knowledge, with all that yoga expertise, with all that great scholarship, he found no way of pacifying them from his side. And he was completely bewildered and also overwhelmed with the expression of emotions that gopis did in that place. So when that discussion ended, he was so humbled. So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says that everyone who has vast knowledge must visit Uddhav Kyari. That is a place where one can get freed from the pride of knowledge. Whatever material acquirement or achievement that we have, and we think we have and we are proud of that, large or a small extent, we must visit Uddhav Kyari and pray to that place to be free from that pride. He got free from that pride, and he got, maybe he was not looking down upon gopis, but he thought they are village girls. He was not looking that they were fallen or something, they were very emotional or materially attached. But he was thinking they are simple women, But then as he was listening, his awe and reverence and respect went up and up and up and up. And he thought, I have never met such people on earth. And if we read the previous 2-3 verses where Uddhava is expressing, his heart, the verses that he sang as a natural expression of reaction after meeting, he says, I want to worship them. Our Acharya explained that he didn't even ever offer Dandavat Pranam to Krishna's wives in Dwarka later on. And he felt like worshipping these ladies. He felt like touching their feet. He felt like taking their dust on his head. For a kingly person from Mathura to take dust from village simple girls, it's like very awkward situation. But he developed so much awe and reverence that he thought that I won't even embarrass them by asking from the dust of their lotus feet. That is called empathy. Empathy means I want to honor you, I want to respect you, but I want to do that not embarrassing you. I want to make you comfortable and make it natural affair so that I can get your blessings. So Advaita Acharya was not willing to give dust to Sachi Mata. She was waiting. She waited. When he fell unconscious, she took his dust on her forehead. So he decided that, you can see the thought process of Uddhava. He knew that materially and physically I am in such a high position and they are in a very simple situation. So if I ever demand to take their dust, they will obviously refuse and they will feel very embarrassed. Because what was their mood? They sat him on a throne-like situation, on a very high pedestal, great respect. And they worshipped him. They glorified him and worshipped him and gave him all respect that he deserved from external point of view. So they remained where they were. They were never acting in any artificial way. They were very natural, very simple-hearted, very straightforward, expressing their heart, whatever they were. So he analyzed their mental situation. What they must be thinking if I would ever have to request them to give their dust of their feet. So he decided a long cut to get that. First he planted thorn trees in that area. So all the thorns that you see in Vrindavan are all planted by Uddhava. Because he realized that this place of Sri Vrindavan Dham, especially Uddhav Kyari, and then wherever the gopis wandered after Krishna left, suffering from separation, this place is so esoteric that anybody who is unqualified, not suitable to understand, comes here, then he will contaminate this place by his material desires and attributes. So I will plant thorns so that these thorns will prick and reject or discourage all those unqualified people to not come here. And only those who can bear these thorns and still want to appreciate the glory of this place, only they can come. We remember that when we went first time in 1992 to Uddhav Kyari, it's only hardly a kilometer of distance from main road. It took us 2 hours to reach that place, because all filled with water just because of rains, and every step would get 6 to 7 thorn pricks. And we were holding hands of 4 to 5 people, each group, just to support each other to reach that place. And Radhanand Maharaj was telling us that each thorn prick will purify your heart and will make you eligible to reach Uddhav Kyari, to understand the essence of that place. And after we reached there, the first ever yatra which Radhanath Maharaj gave after the first I camp himself, many Vrindavan devotees were there, and then he gave a class at Uddhav Kyari, expressing the essence of emotions that were expressed by gopis to Uddhava. So he did that, and then he obviously went back to Mathura. Now today we are in the situation that he has already stayed there for many, many months. Exactly how many months I could not find out. I found out but I had heard in the past it was 6 months. Anyways, for a long time. For a messenger to give message and come back, it was a long time. He extended his stay, and actually what he did was, he didn't know now what to do, how to pacify these ladies. But he understood that when they were expressing their heart and remembrance of Krishna to him, they were actually in apparent ecstasy of Vipralambha. So what he did, he went with them to each and every holy place, mountains, rivers, bank of Jamuna, villages, forests, kunjas, nikunjas and spots, under various important trees, in every nook and corner of the whole Braj Bhumi. He travelled with them, and what he did, he kept asking them questions. What happened over here? So then the gopis would narrate. So many of them who actually participated in all those pastimes, they would narrate to him what happened over there. And that's how for all these months together, he kept them happy by making them speak about Krishna, giving them intense remembrance of Krishna by discussing their katha, his katha. And that's how he saw that they were very happy, so he kept on doing that. So it was a very unique Braj Yatra. There was one Yatri and many Dham Darshaks. So many Dham Darshaks, unlimited Dham Darshaks. And each one had her own side of realizations of those same pastimes. And he was the one Yatri who was also doing his service that Krishna had given him of pacifying them by their own prowess of spirituality, prowess of love that they had, strength of love that they had. So in one sense, they only pacified themselves. But he became just a catalyst, and he saved himself because he was thinking, how will I serve them now? How will I fulfill my service to gopis given by Krishna? So they only helped him. And he found a trick to take out the essence of their heart and pacify them by making them only speak. This is a very unique situation. And then now, after doing all that service, he is about to go. So I was just thinking that when Uddhava came from Mathura, he didn't expect anything of this sort. He didn't expect the rivers to see, of the tears. He didn't expect the unusual expression of gopis. Neither he expected to see unusual yoga that he saw. And everything he saw was totally unexpected. And everything he expected to do, he couldn't do. But he had faith in Krishna. And I have come on a mission to serve Krishna. And he was all time attempting to do that service to Krishna by serving the gopis, whatever he has done. So he gave the message, but because he had faith, he could undergo all this explanation, all these experiences. So all of us should have faith that we may have a particular way of thinking or particular way of planning, a particular way of serving Krishna. And most unbelievable, unexpected, unfathomable things will happen in our life. And if we don't have faith that my Lord Sri Krishna will never do anything bad for me, whatever happens, palatable, unpalatable, pleasurable, unpleasurable, successful or a failure, apparently, is always good for us. Uddhava was successful in his mission in the end because he had that faith, and he underwent all those unbelievable, unexpected, unfathomable, bewildering experiences. And thus he gave up his pride and became very humble in front of the most simplistic village women of Vrindavan. So our life should be based on this faith, that I will do my duty and I will allow Krishna to do whatever he wants to do in my life. It's like this patient who has to undergo surgery. He will say, now doctor, I have full faith in you. Now you do whatever you like and do whatever you plan to do. So doctor will first knock you down and make you unconscious and cut you and then take out whatever he wants to take out, again stitch you and bring you back in consciousness. So complete submission is there. How much pain will be there, we don't know. How much happiness will be there, we don't know. But we have full faith that the person whom we are submitting to, he is expert and he will do whatever is needful. I may not understand also what is going to happen, but I have full faith that whatever he will do, he may see, he will try to operate appendix and he will see something else, that also he will remove and close it. That time you don't question, how did you do this without my permission and consent? We have full faith. Doctor, whatever you say inside, you can remove. What is inside? What is bad and not good for my health. So like that, Sri Krishna did most unusual, unplanned things as per the thought process of Uddhava. Most unplanned. But Uddhava was most successful because he underwent all those things very gratefully, thankfully and very humbly. And in Brij Bhasha they say that Uddhava was graduate in Mathura University, and Krishna sent him to University of Vrindavan for doing PhD in the Pathshala of Gopis, because he had excelled in being in presence of Krishna, and he had excelled in that activity, and he wanted to show Uddhava that there is something beyond this also, and that also was very successfully achieved by Uddhava. And see the consciousness of Uddhava after end of the story, that he went back and and before that I want to tell you something, that he experienced unlimited bliss in the association of gopis while he was serving them by pacifying them. Their example and character and behavior was so inspiring to Uddhava. It gave him ultimate experience. What is the beauty of gopis' character? Is that they never were duplicitous. His Holiness Radhanath Swami told me once, the highest quality of theirs is simplicity of heart. There is nothing inside, nothing out, nothing difference. Everything is so simple and straightforward and filled with love. So they were just whatever they were not planning or devising something. Okay, now the city man has come, so let us behave with him accordingly. They were whatever they were just simply expressing what they felt. And their beautiful character of simplicity and heart filled with love inspired Uddhava from within so much that he went to Mathura, and after some time, exactly, again I could not find out exactly when he came back, but he told Krishna that I am going back to Vrindavan. So Krishna was wondering, he said, why you are going to Vrindavan? He said, I want to become a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Now this is the long route he has taken, because he has observed gopis, but they were so humble and so simple that they would not give anybody or accept anybody's obeisances or respects or give anybody their maha or dust or something like that. But he saw them very cleanly, that they were very easily walking on the ground of Brajbhumi. walking on the blades of grass. So he decided while going contemplating, I want to become blade of grass. And he went back and he did tapasya in Vrindavan at the banks of Kusum Sarovar. And everybody does tapasya for arho purposes. Na? They are in lower position. We did tapasya, rules and regulation to attain a higher position. Wherever we do any tapasya, our main aim is to attain something higher than what we have now. Apparently, he had most highest position, which gopis may be desiring. We want to be with Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is he? Does he remember us? We want to meet him. When is he coming back? They wanted to be very much with Krishna in physical company and trying to instigate him to give messages that ask him to come and meet us again, enjoy in the groves of Vrindavan. So they were apparently trying to meet Krishna physically, and he was already in perfection of that situation. But he understood there is something higher than that. So he came back to Vrindavan and did tapasya to become blade of grass. Not to become like gopis again. He didn't want to become like a gopi. He just wanted to take the dust from their lotus feet so that he can understand the essence of the love that they had. And ultimately, it is explained in scripture that he became Gulbalata, a typical kind of a bush in Vrindavan at the banks of Kusum Sarovar. And even today he lives there as Gulbalata. And because of his consciousness of taking such a long route of humility, it's a matter of humility. He wanted to somehow make them comfortable and still achieve the dust of the lotus feet, and took such a long time, and without even their knowledge, he attained the dust of the lotus feet of all the gopis. Because of this beautiful consciousness that Uddhava yielded in Vrindavan, later on he was eligible to even help Krishna's wives to attain their eternal positions. When Krishna left this world, he had called Uddhav and they had a good discussion, and he instructed him and Parikshit Maharaj and Vajranab to, when I leave, my wives will be very aggrieved. So you go and pacify them and take them to Braj Bhumi. So he brought them, he was already there in Braj Bhumi, and Parikshit Maharaj and Vajranab brought all the queens to Braj Bhumi at the bank of Kusum Sarovar, because Jamuna Devi told to go to Kusum Sarovar. There you will understand the purpose of your life and how to pacify your... Because they questioned Yamuna, how are you so jubilant and your waves are going up and down? Aren't you feeling sorry that Sri Krishna, your husband, has left? You are also one of our, co-wives, fifth wife. So she said that you will understand the secret of happiness of all our Brajvasi inhabitants from Uddhava at Kusum Sarovar. So then they were taken to Kusum Sarovar. And then Kusum Sarovar, they chanted Harinam Sankirtan, great ecstasy. You can imagine Krishna's wives, how great love they must be having while they were singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Harinam Sankirtan. And they chanted and they exhibited great love. And there came out Uddhav from the form of a bush. He manifested as a person. And he sat with them at the bank of Kusum Sarovar for 30 long days and discussed Srimad Bhagavatam to them. And when he began narrating Srimad Bhagavatam to them, Krishna's pastimes and devotees' pastimes, of course first devotees' pastimes, immediately there all sorrow of separation from Krishna were mitigated. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is Sri Krishna himself, the physical association. So immediately they felt relieved from the pangs of separation. And when they reached 10th canto and the discussion was going on of Braj pastimes of Sri Krishna, then their own pastimes in Dwarka and their own pastimes in Mathura, whatever they were participating in, they actually saw their eternal positions in Goloka. While they were listening in Katha, they saw their positions in the sky. And when Srimad Bhagavatam ended, narrated by Uddhav, they actually merged in their original form and went back to Goloka. So you can imagine, the whole episode of Uddhav made him such elevated personality that he could even serve Krishna as per his desire by helping his wives to attain their eternal positions in Goloka. That was how Krishna helped his wives to go back to Goloka. In another way, he took his Yadav Vansha back to Goloka. And this way he took his wife back to through the medium of Uddhav. And still today Uddhav lives. He performed tapasya at Uddhav Kund, which comes on the other side of Kusum Sarovar, other side of Govardhan. And he stayed, there is Uddhav Baitak also, where he sat and performed tapasya. And the place where he did Bhagavatam for 30 days for the queens of Krishna. So, the last stroke on him of realization was when he met gopis to take their permission to go, and he met Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. What they said, gopis never thought, oh, a student has been sent by Krishna from Mathura, so we have to give him good education. They were always, their respect for him always remained the same. They were constantly in worshipping mood, and they actually worshipped him in the end also. They praised him, glorified him, and they gave him gifts to give Krishna and all the relatives and friends there. Nanda Maharaj also worshipped him. Yashoda Maharani worshipped him. And what they were all asking him before going? They were saying, please bless us. Imagine all the gopis who exhibited such highest level of emotion. And those two wonderful parents who shed tears constantly as rivers since Krishna has left. Such exalted souls. What they were saying? Please bless us. Actually, he was like a son to Nanda Maharaj Yashoda. Please bless us that we will always remember Krishna. His smriti, his remembrance should always decorate our hearts. And we should never forget him. And always act in such a way that we will please him. He was, the last part also was too touching to his heart. How can these people, they should bless me to have what they have. They should bless me with that blessing that whatever emotion, love we have, we bestow it upon you. Krishna Matirastu. May you have love for Krishna. They were begging him. They were thinking, you are so exalted, you live with Krishna. We don't have fortune of living with Krishna. You live with Krishna all the time. Please convey our love and bless us that the way you are with Krishna, we can also remember Krishna at least. I mean, they were not desiring that we want to come with you and please take us with you. No, let us remain in thoughts of Krishna. Because that is what he desires, so we are okay with that. But let us not forget him. One thought process also comes that if it's so painful for gopis and Brajvasis to remain in Vrindavan, constantly remember what was happening there, what happened there, they could have just left, One of our relatives lost her husband, and she was staying in Kandivali. So the first thing she did, she left Kandivali and went somewhere else. She didn't want to remember anything that happened over there. But look at gopis, they continued staying there. Mathura was very close by. They could have always gone and just hung on there. Krishna, come and meet us. We just cannot live in Vrindavan. You have to be with us. Either you come with us or we stay with you here. They never thought like that. Whatever he wants, if his desire is to stay there and keep us over here, we'll stay over here only. And we'll find all our happiness in the place where you want us to be. And they remain there only. Pacifying themselves, remembering him, all the pastimes, whatever he performed in the same place. What a wonderful character gopis have. So, this is Uddhav Leela. It is supposed to be most intensely emotional experience for Nandagaon Vasis. For Nandagaon Vasis, it is said there are two experiences. One is when Akrur came and took Krishna Balram away. Very touching and heartbreaking experience. And second is, more higher than that was, at least Krishna was there in front of them going away to Mathura. But next time when Uddhav came and spent time with them, it was like too painful to them. I mean, too painful emotionally experience point of view. And they perform sometimes dramas for 8 days, every day 8 hours, only on Uddhav Leela. Uddhav was being in Vrindavan. So Nandagaon Vasis ki jai ho. Today also happens to be the disappearance day of Raghunandan Thakur and Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. We'll see how much time permits to describe their glories. And Raghunandan Thakur was born in 1510. the same year where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Sri Rangam. We went in 2010 to Sri Rangam on the invitation of Murli Bhattar on the 500th anniversary of visit of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sri Rangam. That is the year he was born, on the beautiful auspicious day of Vasanta Panchami, the beginning of Vasanta Ritu. In Sri Khanda, which is 4 miles west to Katwa, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. And he was son of Mukund Das, who was Vrinda Devi in Krishna Leela. He had 2 brothers. The elder brother was Narari Sarkar, and younger one was Madhav Das. Mukund Das was a doctor at the assembly of Muslim king. And of course there are many wonderful stories how he became unconscious when he saw a peacock feather, and he told the king that I have a disease of leprosy. But the king understood that he is a great devotee of the Lord. Anyway, so the famous story of Raghunandan Thakur. Raghunandan Thakur was a very extraordinary soul. One time his father wanted to go to village, some important business, and he had the family deity of Gopinath ji. He told his son that it's very important to serve the deities and very meticulous he ought to be. He explained him, and he told him to do the offering of afternoon, Raj Bhoga. And he did the offering, and he said, you chant the mantras and request Krishna to eat. So he did all the mantras, and he was waiting there, and Krishna was not eating. All the food was as it is, and then he was getting anxious. What if my father comes to know that Krishna didn't eat anything? My father told him to offer Krishna, and Krishna is going to eat. So he said, eat, please eat. And nothing was happening. So he said, eat, nothing was happening. So he became really desperate and scared that his father will scold him. Started weeping and crying and requesting Gopinath, please eat, otherwise my father will get angry. So looking at the simple and intense loving emotion of Raghunandan, Gopinath just came out of the deity and ate everything. He didn't even leave in the remnant. And then Raghunandan was very happy. He was so happy. At the opportune time, he took out the plates and kept it. And later on, father came from the work that he had gone to, and he asked, so where is the Mahaprasad? He asked his wife. So his wife said, there is no Mahaprasad. What happened? The boy says that Krishna had everything. He says, my son is not a liar or he is never duplicitous. He's a very simple boy. And at the same time, I don't believe how Krishna ate. We had two confusions in his mind. Because he didn't doubt his son, he said, let me test him again. So he said, okay, this is laddus, please go and offer Gopinath. So he went and offered Gopinath, and again Gopinath was not eating, so he was hiding and watching from window. And then again he started crying, and Gopinath just came out again and ate the laddu half. And then because Father Mukunda was watching, Krishna stopped there only. Because the kind of implicit faith that Raghunandan had, Mukunda didn't have. So Krishna stopped there. So it is said that half laddu is still there in the hand of Gopinath. Some say that, I am not very sure. Some say that half laddu is still there in one of the temples, preserved. So that time when Mukunda saw himself, Raghunandan's devotion and Krishna responding to him eating laddu, it is said, why eat a half laddu? One more explanation is given, because he had just full lunch. So he didn't have much space. So he only had half laddu as a dessert. So after this, Raghunandan would be taken by his father to Nilachal to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Raghunandan's father once, who is the father? You or Raghunandan? Who is whose son? So Raghunandan's father, Mukunda, very humbly told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunandan is my father. Because me and my wife have received Krishna consciousness, real Krishna consciousness from Raghunandan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, I agree with you. Whoever gives you Krishna consciousness, he is your real father. And you become his son. Raghunandan was Kandarpa Manjari in Vraj Leela. In Dwarka Leela, he was Pradyumna, who is Kandarpa, Cupid himself. In Sakhya Leela, in Vrindavan, simultaneously, he was Priya Narma Sakha, Ujjwal. So, very beautiful positions he had. Very beautiful. And he was also a participant of Keturi Gaur Purnima festival arranged by in Srikhanda, right? Arranged in Srikhanda in the presence of Janava Devi and Veerbhadra. So, another important pastime which we should not miss today is meeting of Abhiram Gopal Thakur and Raghunandan. So, Abhiram Gopal Thakur was a very unusual personality. He was incarnation of Sri Dama. And he had a whip, Jai Mangal, right? And Jai Mangal whip, wherever he would understand that some pure devotee is there, he wanted to always go and offer dandavats. He was not a tester, would not go test them. I mean, people may misunderstand that he was like very arrogant fellow, he wanted to just test everybody and either he make him die or he make him appear great and then offer dandavats. No, he actually would go to offer dandavat. In the process, he would touch them with his Jai Mangal whip. So news came to Srikhanda, to mother and father of Raghunandan, that Abhiram Gopal Thakur has left to meet Raghunandan, to offer obeisances because he has heard about his devotion and his intense love for Gopinath and the pastimes. So he wanted to take blessings. So he came there. So Raghunandan's mother hid him somewhere, he should not meet him. What if, I don't know, my mothers never feel my son is a pure devotee. Mother always feel my son is my son, that's all. Yashodamai also would feel if Krishna would eat dirt, he would die. He would not think that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what dust will do to him. So she hid him. And Viram Gopal Thakur came. He started doing kirtan and calling Raghunandan, Raghunandan. And Raghunandan came out of the hiding place. And they both started doing kirtan and started jumping in ecstasy. And Raghunandan danced in so much ecstasy that his nupur flew 2 miles from where he was dancing. Even Sri Krishna, when Yashodamai would tie nupur to his feet, 3-4 times she would tie it, because many times Nataraj Sri Krishna would dance and miles away his nupur would fly, not to be found, and Krishna would come back with only 1 nupur instead of 3. So like that Raghunandan danced and 2 miles his nupur flew, and wherever it fell, immediately a kunda, that place is called Akai Hatta, a kunda appeared, erupted. It's called Nupur Kunda, near Srikhanda. And then people took out that Nupur and now it is preserved in one temple as beautiful darshan item. So Abhiram then hit him with Jai Mangal 1 time and Raghunandan started crying ecstasy of love, 2nd time ecstasy. Then mother and father stopped him. Abhiram, please stop, he will die out of ecstasy. He will not be able to bear, he is such a small child. He will die out of these ecstatic feelings. He is crying so, wailing like anything. So then Abhiram stopped and then he embraced. And they embraced for long time. And Abhiram, Gopal Thakur and Raghunandan were shedding tears of love. Very beautiful story. It is said that when one time when Raghunandan Thakur was taken to Nilachal to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First time he was 8-year-old, that time he went to Nilachal. And that time, as soon as he offered Dandavat to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 8-year small boy recited a verse, very beautifully, spontaneously from the heart. O Gaura, O golden Gaura, how sweet is your body, from which hundreds of streams of luster flow. Even Cupids, Kandarpa, feel jealous of your beauty, on account of which you steal the heart of everyone who sees you even once. I wish that your dancing image, darshan of your dancing figure, remain always in my mind. And many exalted Vaishnavas with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were wonderstruck to see the eloquence and the devotion in the heart of this beautiful little son of Mukunda. And immediately Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted him with service of his own personal deity of Gopinath. He said that there was a kadamba tree outside that temple, and it will always gives flowers in only Sawan Bhado, in 2 months only, in Vrindavan. But all the seasons, all 12 months throughout the year, 2 beautiful, fragrant, attractive kadamba flowers would grow on that tree. For Raghunandan, he would pick them up and offer it to Gopinath. Then one unusual story which I read in Bhakti Ratnakar, that Raghunandan Thakur organized a very beautiful Bhagavatam Katha on a wonderful day of Ekadashi in Srikhanda. And many wonderful devotees came. Along with that came Veerbhadra, the very beautiful illustrious son of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Chaitanya had whispered in the ear of Nityananda Prabhu that now you get married and I will personally incarnate as your son. So that great Veerbhadra Prabhu had come. And it is explained by Narari Chakravarti that kirtan which they performed after Bhagavatam in the daytime by Srinivas Acharya, they began kirtan to stay awake on the Ekadashi day. And the kirtan was so tumultuous. Raghunandan himself offered chandan and mala to all mridangas and kartalas and all the equipments, all the sitars and beautiful equipments that all the expert devotee players were going to play. And then they began playing whole wonderful classical presentations and started dancing and rolling, and the kirtan became so ecstatic that everybody started rolling on the ground and weeping and crying, Gauranga, 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 please appear. They were all expressing their heart that Gauranga, you must appear. And it is said by the mercy of Lord Gauranga and their ardent prayers, Sri Gauranga appeared in the middle of the kirtan on the Ekadashi day and pacified everybody and then disappeared. Veerbhadra was dancing in such ecstasy in their kirtan arranged by Raghunandan Thakur that one blind man was asking another person, now what's happening, now what's happening, now what's happening. He was feeling all the ecstasy in the heart but he couldn't see. And he desired, I wish I could see Veerbhadra. And by the unlimited mercy of Veerbhadra, instantly he glanced at this blind man and he gained vision and he saw the beautiful form of Veerbhadra. And then Ekadashi night ended. All the devotees cursed Brahma. Why he had such a small Ekadashi night? It should have been unlimitedly long so that this kirtan should have never ended. So, Sri Vrindavan pastimes and Gaur pastimes are all similar. They are same actually. Although they had a very long night, but they felt night was very short. Next day, Raghunandan asked them, so what would you like to have for prasad, for breaking Parana? They all said, we like to have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprasad, because there was a temple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaura, which was worshipped by Raghunandan Thakur in Sri Khanda. They said, yes, we all go and take bath and get fresh. So they all went, and by the time they came back, a long array of beautiful items, very beloved to Lord Gauranga, were prepared by Raghunandan Thakur and by his associates. And a big, huge feast, very dear to Gauranga Mahaprabhu, was already ready as prasadam to them. And Raghunandan Thakur and his associates fed everybody very lovingly. And when they were busy eating and his associates were serving them, Raghunandan Thakur went to a place where Narahari Sarkar's Samadhi was there. By the way, Narahari Sarkar was a personality, was elder brother of Mukunda, his elder uncle, actually had nurtured him from childhood. He was like another guardian. He actually trained him, nurtured him and raised him. So he had great love for Narahari Sarkar. And Hare Sarkar by the time had left this world. So he went to offer that Ekadashi, Dwadashi Mahaprasad, Paran Prasad to the Samadhi place of Narahari Sarkar. So he put a asan there, offered it very beautifully, chanted mantras and closed the door, sat outside and started doing chintan, meditation on Narahari Sarkar so that he comes and accepts that prasad. So he did all that and he opened the door. As soon as he opened the door, Narahari Sarkar appeared there in celestial divine form, effulgent form. And Raghunandan Thakur fell on the feet, on the ground, crying ecstasy, and he became so excited, he rose up. As soon as he rose up, Narahari Sarkar disappeared. He started crying bitterly there. But he knew that there are so many thousands of Vaishnavas there. So very soon he composed himself, wiped his tears off as if nothing happened, and he went back. And then he made Acharya Srinivas sit down and Veerbhadra sit down and offered him prasadam. And then they had all completed the prasadam, then he had prasadam, then he requested everybody to stay over for 4-5 days. They were saying, no, we have to leave. But by his sincere desire, they continued staying for 3-4 days. And then everybody left, Acharya Srinivas and Veerbhadra and everybody left. And after that, the Keturi festival took place. They all travelled to Keturi festival. Sri Raghunandan Thakur accompanied Bengali devotees every year to Puri during Chaturmas. And Raghunandan Thakur would always dance in the group of devotees from Sri Khanda. That 7 groups were there. So in the Sri Khanda group, Narahari Sarkar was leading and he would dance with Narahari Sarkar group. He participated into Gadadhar Das's festival at Katwa also. and Narari Sarkar's festival at Srikhanda also. In the final days, he had very intense desire to meet Srinivas Acharya, who was very, by contemporary situation, he was junior to him. So he was desiring, I wish I meet Srinivas. And Srinivas Acharya felt I should meet Raghunandan Thakur. So both of them had inspiration, and Acharya Srinivas came to meet Raghunandan Thakur. And then Raghunandan Thakur expressed his heart that I want to leave as soon as possible, but I am getting news that all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are leaving one by one. From Bengal, from Srikhanda, from wherever they are, all senior devotees are leaving. My heart is weeping in pain. I cannot tolerate the separation of these devotees, and I want to also leave very soon before everybody goes away. So it is said on the third day from that day. Before that, he blessed Acharya Srinivas, because even he was feeling bad that Raghunandan is thinking of passing away and going away. But to pacify Acharya Srinivas, he said, Srinivas, you will live long. And you will live long and you will protect the religion that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has propagated. You will be able to be successful to propagate it very nicely to the devotees. And I see in future, another worry that I have got, I want to leave very soon, because I see people are becoming very doubtful now. They are arguing and doubting. But you will be able to pacify and convince all the doubting and argumentative souls, and you will convert them into devotees, and they'll all become your disciples. I bless you that by your influence they will become devotees and take shelter of you. And they again embraced for long time. Acharya Srinivas wanted to offer Dandavat to him, but he was not even leaving him from his embrace for a long time. Then on the third day from that day, they arranged a big kirtan. And in that kirtan, suddenly Raghunandan started calling out, Gauranga, 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 loudly. And then, in front of the eyes of devotees, he just went on reducing, and he disappeared. It is said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responded to his call, appeared in his heart, without any knowledge of anybody else. He didn't appear to anybody else. Appeared in his heart and took him away to his abode. And it was on this day, on Chaturthi of the month of Shravana, in the waxing moon, what do you call it? Effulgent Paksha, bright fortnight of month of Shravana, on the fourth auspicious day, Raghunandan Thakur passed away. That is today. Hare Krishna. Shri Raghunandan Das Thakur Mahashoy Ki Jai. Even reading and meditating on the life of Raghunandan Thakur is so auspicious and so purifying to the heart. And then few minutes are there. I would like to just mention the life of Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj were a very unique personality. He was in Avduta mood. He was very unusual kind of a Vaishnava. He was contemporary of Sri Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. He was there when Thakurji was also there. He was Siddha Mahatma from the disciplic succession of Narottam Das Thakur. He was born in Majidpur in Bengal, Bangladesh. He was a small child and was always going to a temple where one Narottam Das Babaji was living, and he would always sing songs and teach Bhagavatam. So at very small age, he was very attracted. He learnt about Gaurang Mahaprabhu's pastimes, about the whole philosophy, everything from Narottam Das Babaji Maharaj. At small age, he was married and he begot a son, and very small age of son, he became very renounced and went away. And he met Narottam Das Babaji and took Diksha from him, and Babaji initiation from him. And from there he went to Navadvip, and he lived at the bank of Ganga in a small secluded hut. His behavior was very unusual. Of course, we cannot describe now in short time all his pastimes, but suffice to say, he was totally oblivious to the world. He had Gaur Nitai and Gadadhar deities, he had Radha and Krishna deities, and he had Bal Gopal deities. Total 6 deities he had. And often people would hear him talking to the deities in that ancient language of Majidpur. Some men sing something language. It's a village version of Bengali, very ancient village version of Bengali. Even Bengalis wouldn't understand that language. And he was always transcendental to time. He would cook for the deities sometimes and offer first meal in the evening, because he would take bath in Ganga, then he would pluck flowers, then till long time talking to deities, he would make the garlands, and clean them again and again, and make garlands, talking and singing and glorifying to the deities. And then by the time garlands are ready, he will go to beg, bhoga, and he will bring vegetables, and then he would wash them again and again, cut them and again wash them, and singing and talking to the deities. He totally immersed. Whenever the meal is ready, he would offer to them, and then he would accept the prasad. So one time he was found offering at 9 a.m. in the morning. So Haridas Babaji Maharaj asked him, good, 9 a.m. is a good time. Why don't you offer this bhoga at 9 a.m. every day? He said, what is day and what is night, I don't know. If they want every day at 9 o'clock, Gadadhar should go and beg for Gaura and cook for him. Gopal is a Brijvasi, he can go to do Madhukari and he will get milk from anywhere. But I have to do some service to Radha and Krishna. So they will require little dal and chawal. Rest all I don't care. He answered Haridas Babaji Maharaj. So he said, what I'll talk to him. He said, what is day and night? I don't know. So totally oblivious to day and night. And his dealings with these deities were very, very personal. Sometimes he would exhibit Vatsalya, sometimes he would exhibit Sakhya, and most of the times he would exhibit Madhurya. That was his rasa. Sometimes he would scold the deities, sometimes he will chastise the deities. So sometimes, he would keep his door open. All his valuables were there, pots and everything. Sometimes one person gave him gold chain for deities. So he immediately offered Gaur Nitai. He came from bathing in Ganga and the gold chain was lost. So he started chastising Gaur Nitai. You are supposed to guard my possessions. And how did you allow the thief to steal the golden chain? Now you tell me where the golden chain is. So long time deities didn't respond. Evening he got a clue. So he went to that person where he got the clue. And he asked for the gold chain. So the thief hit him and pushed him. And he got injured. He didn't say anything. Very soon the thief died. All family members died. Another time the pots were stolen. So Gaura's pots were different, Nityananda's pots were different. So he chastised both of them. What kind of boys you are? You can't even guard my material which I serve you in. So you get your pot, then I will cook for you. Otherwise you have to starve. So very soon Nityananda's pot, one who was stolen, he gave and gave back. So he cooked for Nityananda and offered to Nityananda only. And he said, Gaura, you have to starve because you didn't get your pot back. So Gaura was observing Nityananda eating his food. So he felt very bad. So the pot was stolen from Gaura. That person came and gave the pot. And then he cooked for Gaura in that pot later on. And he served them. And then he served Gaura with the prasadam. He was crying tears. He said, I love you both boys dearly. Why you are so irresponsible? You should take care of your material. I don't want to hurt you. I want to give you pain. But you are so irresponsible. You don't take care of your things. What kind of people you are? Please be responsible. So much, love he had. One time he told his followers that today I will sleep in open. You don't put tent for me. So he slept in open. So you are wondering, every day Babaji sleeps in kuti. Today he is sleeping in open. So they also stayed awake to see what happened. And 100 celestially effulgent, beautiful, decorated ladies came, offered dandavat to Babaji. Babaji was totally indifferent. They offered dandavat to Babaji, glorified him, and they went away. That was, there are so many beautiful things. One time he saw Thakur Bhaktisiddhanji going with his devotees. So he said, hey Manjari, hey Manjari, hey Manjari. Oh, Manjari has come. Radha also will come. And soon Krishna also will follow. Because, he knew, both of them knew, it takes one to know one. But Thakur Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati always would send somebody to give some prasad and some food material, some bhoga. But he would forbid his disciples to be intimately associated with Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. So one time, when one fisherwoman came and gave some fish, tried to tempt Babaji Maharaj. This is a very beautiful catch, today's product. So for a second, Vamsidas Babaji got tempted to eat that fish because he was from fisherman's family. His father and mother were fishermen. And they would live on catching fish and selling them, and they were eating also. So as soon as he felt that desire to taste that fish, he became so disturbed and so condemnable for himself. He said, instead of feeling, he felt very bad. He went in the kuti. He said, "You, Radha Krishna, Gaur Nitai, Gadadhar, what the hell are you doing? Can't you protect me from this? Why, even if you are present, these things are happening to my life. I must punish you because you are not protecting me." So he tied all the deities with rope. And the rope was in his hand, and he put them in the Ganga river. And he kept that rope, all ropes under his feet for a long time. So the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta were quite disturbed and they were bewildered. What kind of Maharaj is this? He said, "Do not go to meet him, because you will never understand his bhav. He is constantly immersed in love of Godhead, and you will never be able to apprehend and understand what bhav he has got. You will get confused and bewildered, and you will commit Vaishnava aparadh." That is why I am not letting you to go and meet, because he would preach that sadhu association is very important. So they questioned him one time, "How you are preventing us to meet a great Babaji who is just staying close by?" He said, "Because you are not on that level. You are on the level of sadhaka. He is on the level of paramahamsa. You will never understand. To protect your spiritual life and prevent you from Vaishnava aparadh, I am not letting you go and take his darshan." But he would offer dandavat to Babaji Maharaj from 2 miles away distance. And that was also observed by disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta. Then, anyway, the teachings, whenever he would speak, it was very incoherent. Sometimes in that local ancient Bengali, sometimes in current Bengali of Navadvip, sometimes this. So nobody could comprehend what he would speak. But whenever he would speak about philosophy, he would speak perfectly. There was no incoherence in that. So somebody asked one time, what is the greatest danger? So he said, offending Vaishnavas is the greatest danger to spiritual life. The most Avadut-like personality, most incoherent, spoke very firmly. Another time when a rich man came, quite despondent in life, and he came there again and again, "Babaji, Babaji, please bless me." Babaji would sometimes stare, sometimes ignore, sometimes speak something which is incoherent and apparently not responding. But then 4th day, the person again said, "Babaji, please bless me." He said, "What do you want?" So, "I want to see Bhagwan. I want to see Bhagwan." He only said one word, "Weep." And he went. Which meant that you have to really want Krishna. You have to really miss Krishna. You have to really cry for Krishna. Then only Krishna will be. It's not that just by saying, "I want to meet Krishna," Krishna will come. Krishna has to feel convinced that you really miss him, you want him. So in one word, he gave a very heavy, deep instruction. Weep. Unless you learn to weep, you will not get to see Krishna. This Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj never visited any temples, always stayed in bank of rivers. He only visited Puri one time. He went there and Rath Yatra was going on. As soon as he came, Rath Yatra stopped. They tried to move Rath like anything. But then Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj went near chariot and long time in very incoherent ancient language spoke to Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. When his conversation was over, Rath moved. He also went to Vrindavan. He didn't visit any temple. He stayed at the bank of Jamuna and he served his deities constantly there. So in 1944, he again went back to Majidpur and with his deities, and he didn't go anywhere inside the village because he already had renounced, taken Babaji order, not supposed to visit the family area. So he stayed there at the bank of one river and left his body on today's day of Shravan Shukla Chaturthi. So Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj ki, who always wore only 3 things. He said, Haridas Goswami asked him, "Why you are not wearing Bahirvas?" So he said, "I am only a person of Ka. I wear Kopin, I have Karanga and I have Kantha, that is Kantimala. I don't accept Ba. Ba means Bahirvas. People who are in materialistic world and materialistic desire, they only wear Bahirvas. I don't wear Bahirvas. That means I do not want to accept anything material." So he lived very simply, had no possessions, simply few things to serve Krishna, and lived externally as a worthless destitute and an idiot actually, the way he behaved. Many people thought him that he was a madman. But he was a great sadhu, and he had by-hearted Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana and another song book. Which one is that? One more song book of Narottam Das Thakur. He had by-hearted, and all the day he would sing these beautiful songs to his deities wherever he stayed, whole day. And on this day, in 1944, he passed away. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to you for your patient listening. Sri Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj ki, Sri Raghunandan Das Thakur ji Maharaj ki, Sri Uddhav ji ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bol. Are there any comments or any questions anybody has? Thank you very much everybody. Hari Bol.